Hey guys and girls. Machine NZ, good morning. Or good evening. Good evening, Mark. Good morning, Stephen. Good evening, Adam. Hey, Cam. What's up tonight? It's Wednesday night again. Feels like the week's just flown past. It's a little bit crazy, actually. I don't know how I'm keeping up. In fact, I feel like I might not be keeping up. It's been a pretty productive weekend. There's a lot to do. Hope you're all right, Stephen. Hi, Gary. In the UK. I think this set of patterns is just about finished. I'm not going to do a whole walkthrough on them. We've already seen some of them. Hey, Roger. The ones that we've sort of having trouble with is this one, which I think I've sorted. This is the main body. Hey, John. We've seen this 1,000 times and wondering whether I'm ever going to get it finished. So am I. This is the crankcase. I've been working on that a bit this weekend. This is what the crankcase looks like. This is this cutout in here. Oh gosh, can we see that? Try that. This cutout in here is a hollow part inside here. And this cutout in this one is a hollow part inside here, I hope. Hi, Duncan. So there's got to be a hollow through here, and there's a hollow in here. Now we've made the core box, and there's actually a core sitting on the bench here. This is this bit here, which makes a hollow inside. You're all paying attention. That gives us a water jacket. Chirpy probably went to bed. It's unfair to keep him up every night. I'll message him or email him and tell him that we missed him. So we've had some issues making a core that's this shape. I really have. I've been procrastinating it and putting it off, and I made a couple of bits and pieces, and none of them seemed like they were going to work. So that's what it's got to look like, the core. And that sits through there, and that gives us the hollow parts. If we think about it backwards, the hollow parts are where the iron is. That gives us a nice cylinder there to bore out, and water jacket and crankcase, etc, 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 and an opening in the top where the core print is, hopefully. So what I've come up with, along with my Foundryman, and a big shout out to Clark Eastling, who started his own YouTube channel finally, Windy Hill Foundry. Go and check out Windy Hill Foundry. Promised him a plug this video, so there you go. Clark has a pretty good YouTube channel already with 3 or 4 videos up, and I think it's going to be great. He's very, very good foundryman, and he's got a good setup, and he does some interesting stuff. So if you're interested in foundry videos, go and check him out. Hi, Darren. Hey, Raymond. So Clark's the guy who's going to be casting these, so he's got sort of first refusal on how they go together and what's doable and what isn't, because I've got no idea. So what I've done, and these are still in undercoat, but I've made this in 2 parts, like so, and that gives us a plug in the center that'll come out later. Hi John. Hey JB. Hey Peter. So it gives us a plug in the middle so that we can ram this up and make a mold, a core out of it. And then hopefully when the paint's dried and everything's been sanded up so it's a bit looser. It's really tight. We can pull that out and separate the mold and have a core with an indentation in the end. That's the idea. Now, that's going to sit on there, and there's going to be a short piece go between here and the indentation as well, which is a tubular core. So basically you've got 3 parts. You've got the water jacket, and you've got the main crankcase and the cylinder. So the cylinder bore. So that's how we're going to do it. Hopefully that works. And we've got that looking pretty good today. It needs a lot more paint, needs a lot more sanding and a lot more handwork, but it's starting to feel like it's nearly finished. So I'm working in the dark a bit, which is awkward. Now, by that I mean that you really can't tell what's going on inside here from, we've got a hollow that we can't really see inside any more than we can see inside the casting, and we've got an outer when we're only really guessing what's inside. So I think just by measurement and checking and so forth and so on, we're still there. Hello, anyone else there? Aha, that's excellent. So we can't really see what's going on in here. The timing gears go in here like this, and hopefully they're all going to clear. That's the idea. I debated about putting standouts on these to give them a bit of clearance behind, but what I think I'm going to do is just bore these through and leave the bushes sticking out a little bit on this side, so that'll give them a bit of space behind them so they don't rub. That's the idea. This crank then goes on here and it clears here okay, nicely. This is all open space on this side. If you can get your head around that, so it should clear all right all the way around, I hope. So fingers crossed we got all that right. It's a bit of a job. John's bedtime's 8 o'clock. Good night. So fingers crossed, if that makes any sense to anyone. It doesn't really make any sense to me, but if it makes any sense to anyone else, good on you, and they might actually work. So that's what I've got there. It's one of those crazy jobs that you wonder whether you should ever take it on, but anyway, what else have we done? 2 completed boilers. Hey Tommy. These are ready to pressure test at some point when I make fittings to go on the pressure test machine. So one of these is for Chirpy. He's not in tonight, but these are looking pretty good. I'm really pleased with these. Nice joints all the way around. Everything looks fantastic. I don't think they'll have any problems at all passing pressure test, and we've still got to finish the stands for them and make a burner and post them. So not that far off, actually. So that's another job. I've been working on this too. This is the bits for the gear cutting attachment. The templates are still subject to a lot of change. Hey Thomas. These templates could be anywhere by the time we finish. We've got the gear that goes on the spindle. And I finished these. I've made these in the last week or so. There's a lot of work in these and a lot of small parts. So these have got a brass bush in them, a bronze bush, and PB1, PB2 or something. The boilers have just got a little base to go in them, and they're basically a marine engine boiler. I think Chirpy's might be going in a boat. I don't know what he's designed there. These are 4140 and they're hardened up. I guess they're about 58 rock or something like that, and they're all polished, ready to go. That sits in there and in under flush, so that the main tumbler's underneath. And then the next gear doesn't interrupt with, it doesn't touch that. So that's why they're flush like that. This has got a little washer. Goes on. And then this has got this with a couple of flats that goes in the slots, and that adjusts all our depth. So there's a bit of work in them. There's two of them have been done for the tumblers. We've got to... Hey Alistair! We've got to marry these somehow. Like this. Then the next one goes here and it pivots on this centre. And either interrupts with that one and that one to give us forward, or that one and that one to give us reverse, or the other way around or something. So, a bit of work in all these little bits. Spent most of this weekend making these. Which are the spacers. Just give us a little bit of gap between the gears, that's all. That's the way they work, I hope. And then if you want to leave a gear off, this one's the right thickness to have the spacer and the gear. So they've all been done. I broached those. A lot of messing around. Arbor presses are a pain in the... And something I fight with all the day long. I get it out on the bench. It's a pain in the neck of a thing, really. And of course I made a couple of bushes and I made one wrong. I measured the wrong end of the broach, so one's a bit deep, and then I couldn't cut full depth. Then I had to line them up and make another bush for that was the right depth. So a lot of messing around, but I've got all these made. Don't know whether I'll harden them. I might when I make sure they fit first. So that's sort of what's going on with that. It's a little micrometer head there, which hopefully might make some sort of a stop out for the power feed. I'm not sure yet. We're still working on that and design wise. So that's the tray of bits for that. We're working on that. So nothing stops really. It's kind of a little bit crazy here. And I haven't done any of the other jobs that I had sort of intended to do. Nice shout out from Steve Summers. Thanks if you're watching this, Steve. Really appreciate that this week. And we've got a few new subscribers. So that's pretty awesome too. Thanks to everyone who bought a mug this week when I put the Teespring shop up on Facebook. I really appreciate that. Going to get to the Summer Bash. There's not all that many weeks left. In fact, the end of next week we will be announcing the toolmaking competition, which means that there's 3 months and 1 week left to go to Summer Bash 2019. So the countdown's on and things are a bit crazy. So some of these projects, this one in particular, I'm posting to America, and Clark's going to do these and then post them up to California, and I'm bringing them back in my suitcase. So I think that's probably the best way to do that and save us some postage. I've got some fairly serious sign writing to do, which is a bit of a challenge, and I'm sort of wondering what I've bitten off there. But that's this weekend a bit of a priority to get some of that done. So all this stuff is going to be on standby next weekend. Good morning, Ace. What else? There's an amazing opportunity if you're making videos and want to get I think it's an amazing opportunity, and people tell me that, so it's not just me. If you're making videos and you want to get your channel out there and you're interested in making tools, no matter what you're doing, whether you're making woodworking tools or whether you're making pattern making tools or precision tools or blacksmithing, whatever, leather work, and anything else. The tool making competition is the 15th, which is next Friday. I'll be announcing that. I don't think at this stage there's going to be any crazy little rule 2 conditions on that. But you're never going to know until you watch the video, hey? So don't count all your chickens yet, but it's going to be fun. It's always worth a look. It's awesome. If you've got any go in you at all, enter, because there's some good prizes too. Good morning, Matt. It's actually a dry night here. We haven't had any rain today, but we've certainly had, it feels like it's probably coming, and we had a fair bit yesterday. Hi, Umit. So there we go. That's the craziness that's happening there. And Progress on the lathe. Progress on the lathe. That's the other thing. Someone may, or you guys may have seen the video I posted on Facebook and Instagram. Probably not, but we'll do a video about it when it happens. I pulled the cross slide screw out of the launch lathe. Poor old thing. Let's go over here and have a bit of a look at it. Here we go. So pulled this screw out through here. Backlash, and it's terrible. The nuts are really badly worn and the screw's not real good either. Rather than make a couple of nuts and put back in here, and it's got 2 nuts in here to adjust backlash. They're adjustable distance between them to get backlash right. I think I'm going to put a new Acme screw through here instead of the square one, as much as it kills me to do it, and put 2 new nuts in it to fix this. So you can hear that noise in there. Probably you will. I should do some videos on it, Cam. I don't feel like I'm particularly good at anything, so getting me to do videos about something that I'm supposed to know something about that no one else knows anything about is kind of, it's a bit difficult. I don't know very much at all, really. So we fixed this one. It's beautiful. And this one's got this sound in here. I used the word crunchy in an email this week. So I've ordered a new screw and nut, so that's going to get fixed, and that's another project. As far as bearings go, we're not using any oil. We've got no rumbles. We're not getting hot. So as far as I'm concerned, that's about as good as we're going to get out of this headstock. So I'm really pleased with that. Bearings, I think, are fixed. This top slide here is fixed. It's a pretty good repair. I'm really pleased with that. Actually got some oil going through there down into this screw at the bottom now. So hopefully if we do this screw up, we won't do any more damage in any time in the future, hopefully. It's going to be trapeze oil. Sorry, very, very good question, Mark. I'm going to put a trapezoidal thread through. Sorry, I said Acme. To differentiate between the profile of the thread, I guess. But trapezoidal, so it's M10 by 2.0, so that's what I'm going to put in here. Shout out to Phil and Pierre in Canada for this amazing tap follower that I use just about every day. Another job I did on Sunday, which I've been meaning to do for a long time. Look at that. Look at that. Am I good or what? Look at that. Hey, Curly. Bought an MT2 cheapo tail live center for my tailstock. It's a bit crunchy too. I think it'll be all right for a bit, but this is just basically an exercise to say we can actually do it. Now, hey, Andrew. And I've machined this down to the 1.2 degrees that we need for the taper. So we now have a live center. So anyone who gets upset because I use a dead center all the time, it's been sorted. It's not a Jeppy, but it's not an expensive Swiss one, but it's probably not a bad center for the money, and it's on there and it's going, and it's got to be as good as what I had. So really pleased with that. So that was Sunday morning's job, to set this up between centers and machine it down. And it all ejects, so it's the right length and it goes in the right amount and it's nice and tight, all those sort of things. So, hey Gary, good to see you. Good morning in Texas. So, that's the improvements to the lathe so far this week. I get this screw through here on the cross slide, and hopefully we'll have a machine that's ready to do some serious work. I do have an issue with my parting tool as it stands, and probably I'd like a proper tool holder. As you can see, the tool holder for this isn't very big. And this has way too much stick out, like way too much. And we've got too much weight or too much leverage over the side of this, because to fit this on here, this has got to be sort of out here like this, and I don't like that very much because the tool digs in when your feet are a bit heavy. So I thought I'd take 5mm off here, but this is really hard, so that's not going to happen anytime soon in this workshop. Probably I need to make something that's integrated with a tool holder, but that's another project and we will see. This tool holder, this blade holder with high-speed steel blade is pretty good. It's done a lot of work. It's capable of parting off anything that this will spin without stopping. But we need to improve that. So that's something that I'm looking out for at the moment. Anyway, lots of work on the lathe, and I'm pleased I've undertaken and got started on this and got it done, because it's been a bit of an ordeal. Anyone who's been following will know, and it's not over yet, but the end's in sight, I think. And this is a pretty capable little tool post, and more than I thought. It's more than capable of parting off, say, even as it is, it's capable of parting off inch 4140, no worries at all. So I'm really pleased with that, but it could be a lot better with a few more additions. Ordered a couple of oilers for there, which everyone will be pleased about. As this is at the moment, because we've got a gap here, because of the new ball race we put in here, oil's just running through basically. It's not running through, but it's using a bit. It's, especially at high speed, you notice that there's always oil down here. I I think the bearings are adjusted right and everything's okay, but a couple of drip oilers will fix that. So I've ordered them. I don't know when they'll be here, but just a couple of little drip oilers will make a big difference there. We'll get the thread cutting attachment on and probably have a bit of a look at the ellipse chuck, which I've been promising for a long time, and get our gear cutting attachment made too. We might look at back gears for this, so that's another project a little way down the track. Anyway, no mail, no nothing. I've just been here all weekend making things. Rear tool post is all right. You've got to run backwards for a start, or have a tool that's upside down. Probably not something I really need because I haven't got T-slots in my cross slide either. And it parts off better than most Chinese lathes I've ever used. So I'm fairly confident that if I can drop that gap by about half between the blade and the tool post, that we'll be back where we need to be again. So I parted all those washers I made earlier, no problems at all. So I don't think there's going to be an issue. Just at the moment, you've got to go a bit slow. Anyway, that's what's happening in my workshop. What else is happening? Stephen's still grinding stones. Gary's making planers and putting them together. Cam's making a crazy attachment for the lathe to cut slots. Duncan's making an amazing locomotive over on Instagram. You should check that out. And also the occasional bicycle. Machine NZ, I don't know what he's up to, but he's got something else planned apparently. And Adventures with a Very Small Lathe basically fixed all his tool post problems. JB has obtained another round column mill, so you'll get him to tell you about that, but you've got to wonder at some people. That's a good idea, Cam, and you're not the first person to suggest that. John Creasy had the same idea. Yes, it's probably doable. Ideally, though, a tool holder with an integrated parting blade would be the ideal thing at this point. And that's what I'm going to try and do rather than spend 2 days messing around. I'm pretty excited about the bike build, Duncan. I follow those with a lot of interest, actually. Of course you can, Curly. Of course you can. Flash steam boiler. You'll be fine. Just don't blow yourself up. Yeah, Tommy, that's an option, but I really think we need to just fix it. Need someone to laser cut these bits while we're talking about that, or water jet cut them. anyone who's can cut these out of, say, 25mm aluminium for me, nice and neat, so I don't have to do too much cleanup work, that might be an option on that rather than get it cast. We don't know yet. Steel might even be better. Thanks, Adam, for that. And yeah, long cord with steam mop steam engine's important. Depending on how big the wheels are. Anyway, that's what we've been doing. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This next 3 or 4 weeks are going to be crazy. There's going to be lots going on. It really is. It's frantic. I want to get these patterns posted. And 2 or 3 other boxes that I've got to get sent away. These boilers, I want to get them off. I've got a box going to John Creasy as well, so that's got to be posted as well. I've got to get some artwork done this next weekend pretty seriously. That's going to be basically most of the weekend on a paintbrush, I think. And in the meantime, I've got to work for 3 days, which is really terrible. So anyway, I'm going to call it a night. This has been a fairly long live stream. I don't know why, but there didn't seem to be anything really to share, but it's been a busy week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. All our new subscribers, that's awesome. And anyone who jumps up and says hi in the middle of the live stream, that's great. We're all community. Come and join in. I really appreciate it when you do. It's good to see who's watching and who's out there. And more soon.